The only thing that I'm worried about is I'm worried that we're gonna have another OG Xbox problem. Like, to me, I'm more worried that we're gonna have an OG Xbox problem again. And I'm just gonna go and turn the light on in my room. I'll be right back. And I'm back. Wow, that made so much difference. Right, well, what worries me about the Scorpio more than anything is back when the OG Xbox was out, it was the most powerful games console. Oh, don't you dare. Don't you dare die on me. Oh, hold on a minute. Goddamn light. And I'm back. Hey, Kiwi. Welcome back to the stream. Now, what I'm worried about with the Scorpio is going to be, no doubt, the most powerful console on the market. Now, the reason why I'm worried... Yeah, more or less. Like, that's what happened with the OG Xbox 9 times out of 10. When, okay, frame rate wise, 9 times out of 10, it ran better on the OG Xbox, but very few developers actually took advantage of the Xbox power. Now, I'm worried, unless, right, Xbox turns it all around and probably sells more than the PlayStation 4, or at least the PlayStation 4 Pro. See, what I'm worried about is that, are developers really going to push it? Like, or are they just going to be like, right, we need it at PlayStation 4 Pro level and we'll just port that over to the Xbox Scorpio? See, that's what worries me. That's what truly worries me. Are they going to really take advantage of the Scorpio power? I mean, it's great for PC and all that stuff. Like, it's really gonna push. Like, it's gonna be good. Like, if there's a really demanding PC game, it will most likely be coming out on the Scorpio as well. Yeah, that's what worries me. That's the only thing. Like, the console itself, I am amazed that they have got that kind of power, but I am worried that we're gonna have an OG Xbox, like, repeat of history. And two, how much is that console gonna be? I mean, that's going to be the next thing, is how much is the console gonna be? If it is more than $400 or something like that, I know they're saying it's gonna be the premium experience and all that stuff, but I'm more worried that it's going to be so expensive that it's going to price itself out. I'm thinking, like, it's going to be closer to $500, probably about 450 quid here. And to be honest, unless they come out and say, there are these exclusives coming out, that you will only see this on Xbox Scorpio, there is gonna be no reason for anyone to buy it. I mean, it's good that they're making, like, Xbox One games and even Xbox 360 games run better on the Scorpio. But I am more worried that if they do not have any fucking games, like, day one, if they do not have an Xbox Scorpio game that is really goddamn good, then many people will not buy it. Especially if it's over $450. I'm just thinking, please do not make this a repeat of the OG Xbox. I'm hoping that they don't. I mean, I'm very glad that they have literally gunned for 4K, and it will push 4K a lot more better. I mean, it really will. It will really, you know, jumpstart 4K better than it did better than the PlayStation 4 Pro did. I am more worried that we are going to have an OG Xbox problem. That's my main concern. More than anything, I mean, price, okay. Even the OG Xbox was a lot more expensive than the PlayStation 2 when it came out. But eventually price come down, people started buying it, it gained traction. Okay, nothing compared to the PlayStation 2. But my fucking god, I am so worried that many developers are not going to take advantage. I mean, especially as the architecture again is AMD Jaguar x86, and I'm just like, are developers really going to put in that extra oomph and effort for the Xbox Scorpio when, alright, the Xbox Scorpio is superior, is much more superior than the PlayStation 4 Pro. It is. There's no denying that. But are they really going to push that extra mile when they know that a port on the Scorpio will run just as well? That's what I am really worried about. I'm just gonna go on a vaping break, guys. Actually, while we talk about this, just have a quick vaping break. That's what I am worried about more than anything, because it is reminding me so much of the OG Xbox. And I admit, I love my OG Xbox, and that was my preferred platform. It was, because the multi-plats 9 times out of 10 would run better. But there was so few developers which took advantage of that extra power back then, and I'm worried that they're going to do the same now. I mean, Christ, I mean, they've already got engines that can run 1080p 60 frames a second on the Nintendo Switch, which is fucking good, you know, but that worries me again. I'm like, if they've already got 1080p 60 frames a second out of the Switch, and you take a look at the Xbox Scorpio, which is like this fucking behemoth of a machine, I'm like, are they really going to push it much further than the PlayStation 4? I mean, I am super stunned that something like the Forza Motorsport jumping up to native 4K at 60 frames a second is only using about 50-60% of memory, if that screenshot from Digital Foundry is true. That's only using 60% at best of all of its resources. I'm like, what the fuck else are they gonna do with this machine? But it's whether it sells and whether the developer's gonna do it. So if you think about it, something like Forza Motorsport running at native 4K at 60 frames a second, only using 60%, then that means possibly they could put that on a PlayStation 4 Pro and have exactly the same result. I mean, you know, with a bit of fiddling. And that's my point. Will developers push the extra mile? And if they do not have exclusives that say only available on Scorpio, what's the fucking point? It's the OG Xbox all over again, you know? That's my main worry. Well, what's your idea, Jiv? You said you had a good idea for the Scorpio that could make it a much better console than the PS4. And we know that exclusives sell consoles. We know that exclusives, very good exclusives, sell consoles. Think I'm crazy? Look at the statistics of Breath of the Wild. I'm just more worried about that. Oh, you're thinking of Steam. Or Steam on the Xbox Scorpio. Funny enough, you're not, if that is your idea, that you're not the only one. In fact, because they're more or less doing DirectX 12 more or less in the console, and it's going to be Windows 10 based, they could very well do that. I don't see no reason why not. It would be a massive opportunity for both Microsoft and Valve. I don't see no reason why not. I mean, they recently brought out an update for the Xbox One where Windows 10 and Xbox One, you can work them in tandem. I mean, there's even one of the most amazing things that they did, and I've tried this out for myself, is that you can stream your Xbox One to your Windows 10 PC like it's a capture card. No shit. And it really works, and there's like almost zero latency, and there's no screen tearing or anything. I've already tried it, and it's really good. So if they did put Steam on the Scorpio, which they could do, there is more than enough compute power for it to do so. I mean, okay, it would throw that Xbox, what do they call it? I can't remember what they call it. Like, basically, it was meant to be like Windows 10 version of Steam or something like that. I think personally that could happen. There is way more than enough compute power inside the Scorpio for it to happen. And there's many games on Steam. I mean, apparently, to get Forza Motorsport working on... apparently to the Digital Foundry video. I am largely going off of that Digital Foundry video. Apparently, it only took 2 days, not even 2 days, to make Forza Motorsport work on the Scorpio. It only took 2 days. And that would mean that many developers, especially on Steam, because if they can do it to Linux, then they could have Steam on the Scorpio. And if that happened, if that fucking happened, and it was as easy to put an external hard drive in the back of a Scorpio as it is on the Xbox One, because that's what I love about the Xbox One. You can just put a USB-free external hard drive, I've already done it, into the back of a Scorpio. That would be amazing. Well, yeah. Yeah, almost. More or less, Jiv. I don't see no reason why they couldn't, and it would have much more better mod support. I mean, that's the one thing everyone goes crazy for these days, is mod support. They could do it. I don't see no reason why they couldn't. So, I don't see no reason why they couldn't. It would be extremely interesting. Like, it would be the unofficial Steam box to be like the best. It would probably be the best Steam box if they did it. If. Big if. But I wouldn't be surprised if that hasn't been tossed around a boardroom table or something, and it could very well happen. It could very well happen. It's more than enough if it's got 4K at like 4K native 4K running out of the box, and in some applications 60 frames a second 4K. I think it would probably be a lot more easier and a lot more better if they did just build a Steam application. That would be amazing. Like you just sign into your account on Steam, and any, well, Xbox Scorpio ready program you can just download. You don't have to pay for it, and it already is linked to your cloud storage on Steam. That would be fucking amazing. Exactly. Exactly. You got it fucking nail right on the head there, Jiv. Nail right on the head. And the Scorpio is powerful enough to do it. And that would make Sony shit a brick. I am not... Imagine it. CSGO or something like that. Available on your home console through the Xbox Scorpio. A match made, right fucking there. Especially if they have keyboard and mouse support. And that's a very big if. I mean, it's more than fucking possible for it to be done. I mean, you take a look at CSGO, you take a look at Dota, League of Legends, Smite. Those games do not need a lot of computing power to run. But if they don't do that, like I said right at the beginning, what I'm more afraid of is that we have an OG Xbox problem. That is my biggest and main concern. Price, if they shoot for around $450, I mean, if they go for 500 or more, it's not gonna sell. It just will not fucking sell, or at least not as well. It won't sell as good as they want it to do. But I am more worried if they don't do the Steam thing, then we're going to have the OG Xbox problem all over again. That's what I'm more worried about. I mean, okay, it's nice that we'll have first-party titles that will show it off a little bit, but I mean, the third parties are just as important. Indies are just as important now. I think the current climate of game sales is enough to show that. And also, another thing that I'm... only because I pay an electricity bill, I'm actually more worried. I mean, I know that they're using sort of Pascal technology, but how much power usage is that machine gonna do? It will... I don't know how power hungry that machine's gonna be. I don't think it would be too much, but yeah, it's gonna be very interesting. And I'll tell you what, this has met, like, hearing about the Scorpio today. Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like, and like I was saying, an Xbox Scorpio approved title on Steam that goes to the Scorpio. I mean, that's one way, but I'm thinking more like having Steam on the Scorpio. It's a nice idea, but that is real pie in the sky stuff. I mean, it's possible. It's more than possible. Scorpio's got more than enough power. Way more than enough power than needed for it to happen. But, just sticking to the Xbox Scorpio itself, I am more worried. I am more worried that we're going to have an OG Xbox problem. And plus, I don't know how the hell. I mean, if they sell it with a power brick again outside of the console, that's going to be another bloody annoyance. Please, for the love of God, don't do that. Yeah, a Steam Xbox app would be fucking fantastic. And it would really, really help their streaming service, Beam. It would help their streaming service unbelievably. Imagine it. I've just got the Steam app on my Xbox Scorpio. Now I'm transmitting it on Beam, and you can buy it for yourself by just following this link up there. You know, business-wise, that would be really fucking awesome. They could integrate Beam, the Xbox market, the Steam Xbox market. It would be fucking fantastic, don't get me wrong. That way, it would be amazing. But just sticking to the Scorpio itself, like the Scorpio and its games, right? I am just more worried about an OG Xbox problem if they do not bring out any good Scorpio exclusives. There's going to be no point of buying. Especially if you've already got... See, that's going to be the question to a lot of people. I mean, yes, okay, you can go and get a PC. PCs are better. Yes, we know that fucking argument. But, like, to be honest, that's an obvious statement at this point. I'm just sticking to the console sphere. And I am worried if they do not bring any good games out for it. I mean... Oh, what? Wow, another fucking Halo. I mean, okay, Forza Horizon and Forza Motorsport are fucking awesome, don't get me wrong. But there's got to be a bit more than that. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Titanfall 2 on the Xbox Scorpio. Well, that's what I mean. I mean, imagine it. If you got, like, taking your idea on board, Jiv. Imagine it. Like, you buy a game on Steam and it's Scorpio approved or something like that. It's Scorpio approved. So if you're on your PC, you get the game and you get it to run it on your own configuration. And if you happen to have a Scorpio, you also get it there as well. So I'm just like, fucking fantastic. But I would suggest anyone that is interested in the Scorpio, save now. Start saving your money now, because I can guarantee you that it ain't gonna be cheap. It ain't gonna be cheap buying the Xbox Scorpio. But I am just more worried about how like how Microsoft, if they have no games, if they have no fucking games, because 2017, and I think probably this has been done deliberately, has been, well, the tail end of 2016 and mostly 2017 has been dry as a bone on the Xbox One. It really has. I mean, apart from a few multiplats here and there really has not been a lot for the Xbox One, and they're probably doing it deliberately so they can come out with title after title. And I hope that Microsoft doesn't do that as well, because I don't want them like blowing all of their load with like blowing all their load and being nothing for months. You know, I want them to have like steady, good Scorpio releases. So fingers crossed. One thing that I was very, very happy to hear, though, is that they're still supporting all of the Xbox One games. And in fact, it's going to be up to developers to create patches to, you know, optimize for the Scorpio. But one thing I was very happy about was to hear that they're still supporting the Xbox 360 market. So, that's good. I mean, at least they didn't throw that under the bus. I'm very, very happy about that. And I'm hoping, I mean, I was thinking myself, talking of the OG Xbox, that they might maybe integrate OG Xbox games, maybe. I mean, they could do that, considering that an emulator for an OG Xbox wouldn't be impossible now. It really wouldn't be impossible at all, especially with that kind of power. I mean, that's what I was thinking. Well, but you have got a good point, though, Jiv. I mean, that's what I mean. Like, they want to do the play anywhere sort of thing. There would be nothing better with the play anywhere promise and everything than if Steam was available on the Scorpio and the PC at the same time. It would be fucking fantastic. It would be great for me, like someone like me that streams. It would be so much more easier. It really would. It would be amazingly easier. I'd be able to hop, skip, and jump all over the platforms, you know. I wouldn't have to worry so much about my CPU being overworked with streaming. I could just have it through my Scorpio and have streaming solely dedicated to the PC. That would be absolutely amazing. If I bought it for one, then I have it for the other. It would be fucking amazing. All I'm going to say is that this E3, this year's E3, is going to be one to watch. It really is. I think it's going to be absolutely fucking amazing this year. I really do think it's going to be amazing this year. And I personally am looking very much forward to this year's E3. We're going to have, because Sony's going to have to come out with something. They're going to have to push the PlayStation 4 Pro more, which is going to be good. We're going to have the Scorpio and whatever Xbox decides to do. And then we're going to have Nintendo and the Nintendo Switch. And I think, personally, like, PlayStation's going to be quite happy in the middle. I think PlayStation's going to be very, very happy in the middle. They've got a lot of sales, and PlayStation 4 Pro is taking off more now. And then we're going to have the big behemoth of the Scorpio. And then we're going to have Nintendo. And they have got an edge with portability and everything. And they can still create awesome looking games and awesome playing games through the Nintendo Switch. And it's going to be interesting watching these two duke it out. It's going to be so interesting between the Scorpio, the Behemoth, and, pardon me, Goliath, which is going to be the Scorpio, and then David, which is going to be the Switch. I'm really interested to see what they do. I mean, I know that there was reports already that some companies are preferring the Switch over the Scorpio, and to be honest, I can see why. I mean, in some ways, look at the development costs. I mean, yes, it's nice to have 4K, and it's nice to have all of these extra bells and whistles, but they do come at a cost, and that's what I meant about the OG Xbox problem that I was talking about, is it costs more. And to a developer, like, they're gonna be like cost per performance, you know, cost for performance and everything, and it's gonna be extremely interesting in the next few years what's going to happen with gaming. It's really going to be interesting. I cannot fucking wait, personally, and I'm going to enjoy every fucking bit of it. But one thing I was incredibly happy to hear, one thing I was so happy to hear was that the Xbox Scorpio is going to have really good 1080p modes and stuff like that. You know, people with 1080p screens are not going to be left in the dust, which is good, you know, because I remember when the Xbox 360 came out and they were doing more high def 720 and 1080. If you had an old CRT TV, the text was so fucking small and everything. There was so many problems with it, but I'm glad that they're not doing that. And to be honest, if they did do that, it would be a bit inexcusable. So, what are your guys' thoughts on it all? I mean, you know, I personally just want more awesome games. I'm hoping that they put this compute power to use and make more awesome games. I am more looking forward to that. I want to hear your thoughts on this, guys. Alright, Jiv, you're not interested in it unless Steam comes out with it. Right, that's totally cool. That's totally understandable. That is completely understandable. And personally to me, considering how much you like PC, I think it's because you're more of a PC player, you know, that's a very valid thing. There are going to be some, there's always going to be enthusiasts, and I can understand that. I really can. What's the point of jumping, you know? But I have a sneaking suspicion that what you're saying right now, Jiv, might very well come true. It's, you know, if Steam does, yeah, that's what we were saying, Josh. Like, there would have to be Scorpio approved titles and stuff like that, and I can understand that, you know. We won't have full access. It will be a bit like Linux. I think the only thing that is kind of relative to it would probably be like the Linux library on Steam, where it would have to be like made for Linux or approved to run on Linux, which, you know what, I have got a Linux laptop and Steam does run really well on Linux, and there are some games that run very, very well. No compatibility issues that I've had. I mean, apart from my laptop, the laptop with it is fucking old as shit, so, you know. Any other thoughts on it? I think we're just gonna have to wait. I think we're just gonna have to wait. Yeah, I can understand that because, I mean, they already have GTA 5 on the Xbox, so I mean, unless Rockstar releases a 60 FPS patch or something like that, which they would have more than enough right to do. Which I think personally would be a lot more beneficial, not just to Xbox, but probably to Rockstar. It would probably be cheaper. Probably be a shitload cheaper to make a 60 FPS patch than it is to get it completely approved from Steam. Thank you very much, GM Shenmue, for auto-hosting me. But like I said, I mean, the Steam stuff does sound good, don't get me wrong, but that's like potential. And I think personally, unless Scorpio comes out with some a good amount of Scorpio exclusives, then it's gonna have a hard time. Yeah, well, you know what? That could probably work if the Steam stuff did come out. That could very well work in Xbox's favor because of the fact that they would have the power to more or less give you a really, like, more or less the top-notch PC version at the time without having to sacrifice too much. But like I said, they gotta come out with some good Scorpio exclusives. They got to do it. Otherwise, there's no point. There really ain't no point. Nice one, Kiwi. Nice one. Alright, I'm gonna continue on with this game. Unless they